Hello everyone, welcome back. So we were doing the state executive and we have already done the governor. So today we will be doing the chief minister. You know that in we follow parliamentary system of government both at the center and the states. So under this we have governor as the nominal head or the nominal executive authority at the state level, comparable to our president at the center. And then we have the chief minister as the real executive authority, who is again comparable to the prime minister at the center. So the governor is the head of the state, while chief minister is the head of the government. So the position of chief minister at the state level is comparable to that of the prime minister at the center. So all powers, functions, everything would be comparable. So please notice it when we do the entire chapter. So to begin with the appointment of the chief minister, you know that when we studied the Union Executive, we saw that the Prime Minister is appointed by the President. The same way, here the Governor appoints the Chief Minister. So now Governor usually appoints the leader of the majority party as the Chief Minister. So all these points are comparable to the Union Executive. So after the elections, after the state elections, one party will emerge as the majority party. So the governor appoints the leader of the majority party in the state legislative assembly as the chief minister. And in cases where no party has a clear majority in the assembly, then the governor can use his personal discretion in the selection and appointment of the chief minister. So in cases where governor uses his discretion, and the cases where no party has a clear majority in the assembly, in such cases the governor usually appoints the leader of the largest party or the coalition in the assembly as the chief minister. So sometimes there are cases when no party has a clear-cut majority, but some party would have emerged as a single largest party. So they might end up making coalitions with other smaller parties and they can form a government. So the governor appoints the leader of the largest party or the largest coalition as the chief minister, and then he or she has to seek the vote of confidence in the house within 1 month. So the chief minister will be given 1 month time to seek the confidence of the house, which means that he or she has to prove their majority, the majority of the government in the house. And the constitution does not require that the person must prove the majority in the legislative assembly before being appointed the chief minister. So the chief minister, whoever is appointed as the chief minister, they can be appointed and then given time to prove the majority. It's not that he or she has to prove the majority and only then will be appointed the chief minister. So the governor may first appoint the chief minister and then ask the chief minister to prove his majority. So he will be given 1 month's time. And the person who is not a member of the state legislature can be appointed as the chief minister for 6 months. And this is also what we saw in the case of Union Executive. So they will be given 6 months time. So within 6 months, the person has to be elected to the state legislature, failing which he ceases to be the chief minister. So either to the state legislative assembly or the state legislative council, in cases where there is a second body or the state legislative council, some states do have it. So to either of the house, the person has to be elected. Otherwise, they will cease to be the chief minister. So after being appointed as the chief minister, they have 6 months time within which they can get elected to the state legislature. And chief minister may be a member of any of the houses of the state legislature, as I just mentioned, either the state legislative assembly or the Chief Minister can belong to the State Legislative Council also. Now coming to the term of office of the Chief Minister is not fixed because he holds office during the pleasure of the governor. The pleasure of the governor clearly means the confidence of the House. As long as the Chief Minister and his council of ministers under him, as long as they enjoy a majority in the House, as long as they have the confidence of the House, so that is called the pleasure of the governor. So as long as they have it, they can hold the office. And the Chief Minister cannot be dismissed by the governor as long as he or she has majority support in the Legislative Assembly. But if the Chief Minister loses confidence of the Assembly, then he has to resign, or the governor can easily dismiss him. Now coming to the powers and functions of Chief Minister, let's first take up the powers and functions in relation to the Council of Ministers. So with respect to the Council of Ministers, the following are the powers and functions of the Chief Minister. The first point is that, we just saw that the Chief Minister is appointed by the governor. So after the Chief Minister is appointed, governor appoints other persons as ministers. And this is done on the recommendation of the Chief Minister. So after the Chief Minister is appointed, he or she recommends other persons as ministers to the governor, who then appoints those persons as the ministers. And Chief Minister can also allocate and reshuffle the portfolios among ministers. So, at a regular interval, you see the ministries being reshuffled and reallocated. So this is done by the Chief Minister. And the Chief Minister can also ask a minister to resign or even advise the governor to dismiss that particular minister in case of difference of opinion. So they are supposed to, the Council of Ministers, they are supposed to function as a team. So in case the Chief Minister finds that a particular minister, maybe for whatever reason, is not, not in the interest of the state that a particular minister continues in the Council of Ministers, then the Chief Minister may ask that minister to resign, or the Chief Minister may advise the governor to dismiss that particular minister. Now, Chief Minister also presides over the meetings of the Council of Ministers, and he has or she has a great influence on its decisions. So the Prime Minister, the Chief Minister presides over the meetings of the Council of Ministers, as we have seen in the case of the Prime Minister presiding over the Council of Ministers meeting, and is a great influence on its decisions. So the Chief Minister basically guides, directs, controls and coordinates the activities of all the ministers. Now the Chief Minister can bring about the collapse of the Council of Ministers by resigning from office. So if the Chief Minister resigns from office, that amounts to the collapse of the entire Council of Ministers. So there will not be any Council of Ministers any longer. So you will have to go for a fresh Council of Ministers, rather a fresh government. So that is what happens when the Chief Minister resigns from office. So now, in relation to the governor, Chief Minister is the principal channel of communication between the governor and the Council of Ministers. So he links the governor with the Council of Ministers. We have seen that the governor functions with the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. So this link or communication is maintained by the Chief Minister mostly. So Chief Minister has the duty to communicate to the governor all the decisions of the council, relating to the affairs of the state and various proposals for legislation, etc. then he or she also has to furnish any information relating to the administration of the state as the governor may call for. Government can always seek various information from the council, and the chief minister is supposed to furnish such information. And then finally, if the governor requires, the chief minister has to submit for the consideration of the council of ministers any matter on which a decision has been taken by a minister but it was not considered by the council of ministers. So a particular decision was taken by any minister without considering the matter in the council of ministers, and if the governor feels that this has to be considered in the council rather than the minister deciding it by himself, then such cases has to be submitted before the council, and this is done by the chief minister. Now, chief minister advises the governor with regard to the appointment of officials like Advocate General, Chairman, members of State Public Service Commission, Election Commission, etc. So these are all high-ranking officials of the state who are appointed by the governor, but they are appointed by the governor based on the recommendation of the chief minister. Now the powers and functions in relation to the state legislature. The chief minister advises the governor with regard to the summoning and proroguing of the sessions of the legislature. And it's also the chief minister who recommends the dissolution of legislative assembly to the governor. So these are all comparable to the president, the prime minister. So please keep it in mind. And he announces the government policies on the floor of the house. As one representing the government, he is the one who announces important policies and other administrative decisions of the government on the floor of the house. Now, a few other functions. The chief minister is also the chairman of the state planning board. The chief minister acts as the vice chairman of the concerned zonal council by rotation, holding office for a period of 1 year at a time. So, larger states have got various zonal councils to ensure larger cooperation and coordination among the regions. So, in such cases, he acts as the vice chairman of the zonal council, and he holds office for 1 year at a time. And he is also a member of the Interstate Council and the National Development Council. Both the bodies are headed by the Prime Minister. So, Interstate Council and National Development Council are bodies aimed at better coordination and integration among states. And these are all bodies at the central level, which are headed by the Prime Minister. So, the Chief Minister of the state will always be a member to these two bodies, and he or she is the chief spokesperson of the state government. So whatever the chief minister announces or whatever statements come from the chief minister, they are considered as more official, because he is the chief spokesperson of the government. He is also called a crisis manager in chief at the political level during emergencies. He should act as the chief coordinator at various levels. So he is called the crisis manager in chief. And as a leader of the state, he meets various sections of the people, receives memoranda from them regarding their problems, and these are all things that you keep seeing through TV or newspapers. So these are the various powers and functions of the chief minister. So thank you all. See you in the next session.